Put that coffee down. Coffee's for closers only.
Oh, have I got your attention now?
What's up? What's up? How's it going?
What's up, guys? Listen, I'm just updating my board here, guys. Good morning. Good morning. Welcome back, everybody. Coffee with Closers Live, coming to you guys live every single week. We have an awesome guest today. Chris Jefferson is here. The man, the myth, the legend. Man, I had to beg this guy. No, I'm just kidding. No, I love Chris. He's awesome.
I gotta say this.
A lot of stuff today, guys. Really happy to have Chris on the show today. And guys, this is all about audience interaction. That's what this show is about, right? This is our Trojan horse to be able to network with guys like Chris, as well as provide value to you guys. So if you have questions or you want to connect with Chris, drop a message over in the chat if you're watching on Facebook or YouTube. We are here to help you guys, provide you guys with value. Chris.
Good morning,
I'm happy to be here. Hey, first and foremost, man, it's a pleasure to see you guys again. All right, it's been a couple of weeks. All right, we've been hanging out, in different cities multiple times this year. It's always great to see you guys, man. Dave, you've been talking to me about doing the podcast. Gavin, Don's been talking to me about doing the podcast. And I said, man, I want to make sure I do it right at the right time. And I like quarter four. I like the fourth quarter. It's when you close out games. Closers only on the call today. All right, it's a lot of closers in the building. I see some U family in the building as well, man. So I'm happy to be here, happy to be a part of the conversation. And let's do it, man. It's been a long time coming.
Dude, hell yeah, man. We got all kinds of people coming in to watch today. This is awesome. The room
I see that. Hey, listen, man, I don't know how much you know, man. The Chargedale family is heavy.
The room is having fun today. Look at this. Boom. Let's do it.
Look, hey, I got my coffee.
Yeah, man. That's what this is all about. Wow. Well, Chris, let's jump in, bro. What are you working on right now? I know you have hundreds of students and you're helping so many people change their lives. I mean, that's really what it's about. Like, the four of us can get together. We can talk about flipping houses and talk about making money. But this isn't about us, man. This is about everybody else. And I'm just so happy to have you on today because you truly stand for that and mean you want to help people. And dude, I love everything you're doing. It's awesome.
I appreciate it, man. I really do.
Really grateful to have some time with you today, bro. So yeah, what are you working on right now, man? What's your main focus?
Yeah, so my main focus right now is two separate things. All right, I'm focused on my real estate side of my business, and I'm focused on the online side of my business. All right, so in my real estate side of the business, I'm hyper focused on nationwide wholesaling. My model is a little bit different than most people's. I'm doing nationwide wholesaling, but a large amount of the wholesaling we're doing nationwide. We're doing deals with our students. All right, we've got a few hundred students, 400 or around close to 500 students right now that are active monthly students. So shout out to all the U family. I love y'all. So I'm helping support my students. One thing that I realized earlier this year, it's one thing to teach people real estate. It's one thing to walk the walk with them. So we created a program inside of our wholesale business where we could take our students in markets all across the country and help them get their deals closed. I just saw this last night. Shout out to one of my callers on my team, Kiera. There she is actually right there. She was just on screen, so she's in the building. Hey, shout out to Kiera. I got to shout her out real quick, all right? She has locked up in the last 30 days 20 contracts across the country and is absolutely crushing it. Yeah, she's killing it, man. Absolutely killing it. Creative finance deals, cash deals. And so we're helping support students and get those deals closed. I'm building 36 houses right now. I don't really talk about that a lot, but I'm building 36 houses here in Richmond with the city of Richmond and a local nonprofit. So we designed those houses. We did all the site work, all the floor plans, all the interior design, exterior design. So that was fun. We've done that. And then I'm doing, I've got an apartment building that I'm selling. But I need retail. I'm one of those retail sellers right now. All right. I got an apartment complex I redeveloped. I'm looking to cash out. All right. I'm ready to cash out. It's been fun. All right, but I'm ready to get out of that thing and get into something a little bigger. So I got 23 units that I'm putting on the market. On the online side of my business, that's been kind of interesting, right? Earlier this year, Dave, I think I saw you in April. We were in Key West, Florida at Tim Mai's event.
Yep.
And that was kind of, things were kind of starting to kind of go crazy, so to speak, with the online business. Back in 2020, I started a nationwide coaching program. I wanted to do something different than what I saw everybody else doing. I didn't want to just sell somebody a course and then say, hey, good luck, go figure it out. So I created a membership community, wanted to create a tribe. The U family charged up. And so we put that together. We've had almost 2,000 students in the last, since May of 2020, we've had almost 2,000 students come into the program, around 500 active students right now. And I got to say, man, because I know we got a lot of U family in the building, man, these people, my students are crushing it, man. They're absolutely killing it all over the country. I'm trying to turn people into great wholesalers. I want to be.
You are turning people into great wholesalers. I love it. And it's not about just having a lot of students, even though that's great because you're impacting more and more people. It's about helping the students that you have, bro. And I'm always seeing you posting this guy having success and this guy having success and this guy having success. And every time I see it, bro, I get the biggest smile on my face.
I love it, man. I appreciate that.
And you're changing people's lives, and it just I know it fills your tank, and I'm telling you, bro, it fills my tank. So dude, thank you for helping all of these people, bro. You are changing lives. It's awesome.
I appreciate it. Hey, and I gotta ask, Dave. I gotta ask if you don't mind. I had somebody come on as a guest on my group coaching call this week. And we talked about the Bird Method. And I know how passionate you are about the Bird Method as well. I'd love to have you come talk to my students about the Bird Method here in the near future, man. Because I know I'm looking at your board. I know I'm looking at your board, and I'm like, man, this guy's going crazy. Yeah, you're crushing it, man.
Hey, this is the coolest part. None of my own money, not $1.
I love it. I love it.
And that's the goal here, right? Little to no money. So this isn't about me. This is about you. I would be honored to come speak to your people. Absolutely everything and anything and everything that I can do to help and teach. And you got it, bro. I love it. I love it. But let's talk about these houses you're flipping.
Hey, just before we roll, we have a lot of people watching. Guys, do us a favor, give us a like, drop us a comment, and share the post. Okay, we want to get as many eyes. Chris has dedicated his time. We're here every single week. Okay, Chris is on. He's a beast. We know him well. We're at events. It seems like every other week, as he said, that we're running into each other, which is cool because again, we are networking, and that's what this is all about. Again, I always like to drop REI Network. Why did I call it that? Because this is what it's about: being in the right room.
This is it.
And to we definitely are. So make sure you just do us a favor, share. Again, we're not here to sell you. You know that if you've been watching us, we don't sell anything ever. We're here to drop value, and that's what Chris is all about. So just wanted to throw that in there real quick, and then let's dive in to see what Chris has got going on.
That's exactly right, man. Look, did I hear this right, man? You got 30. You're building.
Yeah. So here's the deal. Right? Yeah. So look, I've built a lot of houses over the years, man. I started doing new construction in 2012. I got into new construction. I bought a house that I was going to do historical renovation on here in Richmond. And I had, I'm an idiot. All right. So I bought this house. I do this a lot, and I don't know why I do it, but probably because I'm an idiot. So I buy houses without looking at it a lot. Right. So I bought this house. I didn't look at it. It looked pretty nice from the outside, and I was getting a steal. So I just went ahead and bought it. And then we went over to look at it. We walked in the door. We looked up, and there was a sky. Right. There was essentially no roof on the house. And so the contractor's like, it was rough. Right. So the contractor's like, dude, like, you're really going to make me renovate this house, man, And he's like, why don't you tear it down and build a house? All right. And I said, hey, I don't know shit about building houses, man. Like, what are you talking about? Build a house. And he says, it's not that complicated. It's not much harder than what you're already doing. Because I was doing a lot of really big, large scale renovation projects, $125,000 budgets and up. So we ended up taking this house down. I found a local builder I paid him a couple $1,000s to teach me how to build a house. He came in, taught me how to build, and I've built a lot of houses since then. In this particular neighborhood, I've built a lot of houses over the years. And so the city took an old school and they tore down the school, and they put in a community where they've got apartments, single family, all these different things. So we've been charged with helping build the single family portion of the development, which is 36 houses. And it's cool because it's a neighborhood that I've done a lot of work in over the years. It's a community that I care about here in Richmond, Churchill. And I care about it because, this used to be like the war zone. You know those real estate terms we use, right? We don't hear it that much anymore, but when I first started 11 years ago, we used to call them war zones, right? This was Baghdad, right? Like this was like going to Iraq, right? And so, I got in that neighborhood early, started doing development. Some other guys got in there. It was voted by USA Today one of the top, or the number one neighborhood in the country at one point.
The number one neighborhood in the country.
Yeah. This was in 2014, I think. So it's cool to be in this neighborhood now as a part of this development team, doing this development, because it's a full circle moment for me, coming in in 2012 to now, kind of seeing everything get done, man. So it's cool.
Man, that is awesome, bro. That is amazing.
I wanted to jump in real quick here, Chris. Like, what operation are you running in terms of team size? Are you? How's the structure look to be able to do these different ventures from wholesaling, flips, developments? Like, what sort of structure have you got?
Yes, that's a great question, man. So COVID really changed my outlook on what a team looks like. Before COVID, back a couple of years back, man, I had, project managers on staff, superintendents on staff, all these different things. I used to have a construction company. And I ended up realizing coming into COVID that I really was kind of working backwards, right? In all honesty, almost, by having a large team. And it was almost like, I think it was this thing that kind of got in my head, like a lot of people in the industry, like you need this huge operation in order to generate the revenue that you want. And I think that's a mistake. All right. And I think it's a mistake because I did it. And I've seen a lot of people do it. And all it does, honestly, is it greatly compresses your margin. And
it makes it super stressful when you have a 40 or 50 or 60K a month overhead.
Yeah, dude. So mine was 200,000 a month.
So there you go. Like, dude, my overhead's like probably 25 or 30 grand. We make that passively. So, essentially the runway is forever, but like getting to the point to where you can make that amount of money from your rentals and, a couple other little side businesses. It is an uphill battle for sure. So I guess the point that I'm trying to say is I 100% agree with you. You don't need to have that crazy overhead. You don't, right? You can do this with $100.
Yeah, no, I'm with you, man. I agree. So the adjustment we made, right? So COVID hits and everybody's freaking out. I'm sure you guys are freaking out as well. All right. And I'm like, all right, what the hell are we going to do? Like, what's going to happen here? What's the plan? How are we going to take care of people? Lenders are saying they're not lending money. People are saying what's going to happen with the housing market. None of that ended up being accurate. All right. But that's just what everybody was saying. All right. And so what I said is I need to compress the team down. What I realized is that to do the type of volume that we want to do in wholesaling, all right, which is 100 to 500,000 a month. And that's a wide range, but that's wholesaling for me isn't my core business, so to speak. Right. It's the butter on the toast. I'll put it that way. And it's my favorite part of the business. Because it makes a lot of cash, I'll just be honest. All right. And so what I realized is that you literally only need, and I'm not talking about VAs. I just want to be really clear about this, by the way, because I've done the VA model. That's different than what I'm talking about. In your office or on your core team, you only need 2 to 3 people to make that kind of money wholesaling. All right.
Bro,
you don't need 20 people. Yeah, you need 2 to 3 good people. All right. Like I said, I got one person on my team. Shout out to Kiara because she's in here. That in the last 30 days has generated 20 contracts. Right. Yep. Awesome. Let's just assume that every contract closes. That doesn't happen. Right. So let's assume 50% of those close. 10 of those close, we make at least 10,000. I mean, she's generated 100,000 this month in rev, right? Now, some of those we just signed a deal yesterday is making 25,000. So obviously those numbers are going to be a little bit different. So one person can at minimum generate 100,000 a month. So I think in the industry, we've kind of got to get away from this thought that you have to have all these people to do any type of significant numbers in wholesaling. The cool part about wholesaling is this, all right? The business has changed drastically over the years, all right? This is a tech business and a system and process business now. That's literally all that it is.
That's it. That's it. That's all it is. We're not even in the real estate business when we're wholesaling. We're in the marketing business, guys.
There you go. That's the truth.
That's it.
Exactly. So we just made that adjustment. Yeah, we just made that adjustment. We minimized down the team. We've got 2 admin VAs. We've got 2 sales reps. I've got a project manager. Shout out to Deandra. I think she's in here. She keeps the lights on. She makes sure that I'm doing all the stuff I'm supposed to do. So shout out to her because she's a true gem. It really helps out a ton. But that's kind of how we managed it, man. We've brought the team down in size. On my fix and flips, all right, like I said, I used to have project managers, superintendents, all that shit, all right? What I ended up doing is I got rid of everybody, all right? So now when I do a fix and flip, I go to somebody in my market like Gavin, all right? I say, hey, Gavin, I got a house, all right? I've got the money to buy it. I've got the money to do the renovations. You're a great rehabber in the market. I know you need more deal flow. Hey, why don't you flip this house for me? I'll put up all the money and I'll bring the deal and we'll split it 50-50. So I work with guys like that in my market. I never have to go to these houses at all anymore. In all honesty, I make a lot more money than I made when I was doing the rehabs myself. All right. Because you have an issue of scalability when you try to nobody can tell me, maybe you guys can. I've asked, who can show me a large scale rehab operation? The reality of it is it doesn't really exist. All right. It doesn't really exist. Now, the people that do it.
I can show you.
Hold on. All right, let me say this.
Don is the, I don't know
Go
what
ahead,
the right
go ahead,
term.
go ahead.
Don is the, he's the, yeah.
Let me finish, though.
Yeah.
As a direct operator is my point. Going site to site, going and dealing with subs, going and dealing with Lowe's and Home Depot. I don't think you can scale a large-scale rehab business that way. I think you can manage one. Now you're going site to site, Don?
No, well, let me say one thing. Don, you can speak to us because I'm jumping on Chris's wagon here. I mean, it is derailed. I've talked about this for weeks. The shit out of us, right? We have 3 still right now. We had 5 at one time. And when you talk about lows and receipts, if I don't have to look and think about a receipt or what a light fixture, and it's not even me dealing with it. I'm virtual. But my team is, so it channels through me. And if I have to figure out how many cabinets and why this cabinet went to this house instead of that house, and dishwashers, and I can't deal with it. It is derailed.
You're doing it all wrong.
100%. 100%. It's brutal.
This is Chris's show. I'm going to be speaking at our OREA in November in front of probably 1,000 people talking about rehabbing from position of power. I'm the guy who sits at 3 a.m, stares at the ceiling and looks for path of least resistance. I'm all about systems and process. Systems and processes, people, programs, and I forget the last one, but anyway, people, programs, or anyway, I can't remember the last one.
They all need paying though, Don. They all need paying.
Yeah, man. It's brutal. But Don, man, look, that's why I got.
Yeah, I'm done.
I can show you guys. I can show you how to have it run a large scale rehab company, never see a property and not have any stress, and I can even show you how to cash flow it.
All right, give us
how to cash flow
it.
Hey, guys, here's the thing.
But this is Chris's show.
Chris isn't wrong. Here's the thing. Chris isn't wrong. You can do it. It's extremely hard, Don. I take my hat off. You don't have a hat on, but I would if I did. Because yes, you can do it. It's a lot more difficult to do that than it is to scale a wholesaling business and a landlording business. And actually probably is as difficult as it is to do both of those combined, in my opinion. There's a lot of moving parts. It's a lot of money. It's a lot of overhead. It's a lot of management. It's a lot of risk. You do it very, very well. In fact, I don't think I know anybody that does it better, right? But to Chris's point, the average guy that's new in this game, that's a hard approach. Can you guys agree with me on that?
Absolutely, I agree. For the average person, but the problem is the average person is looking at the box that everybody says you have to operate in. We talked about looking outside the box, right? I approach my business differently than anybody else. I don't do the you have to put 20% down stuff. I borrow 100%. There's things I do in the way I borrow that actually puts money back in my account for marketing. So there's ways we manage and hire. We don't buy materials, for instance. We make the contractors buy materials. We do standardized pricing on all our projects. There's a whole thing. I mean, I could map it out for you in 15 minutes exactly how we can manage hundreds of properties a year in rehabs, and I'd never have to see one of them. But people, I will say one thing: people is part of the component, and people is the hardest component when it comes to it. If you don't have the right people, you're screwed, and that's the biggest challenge for me.
100%. We tried to even take that model, right? So on our last one, we said, forget this. These receipts are getting ridiculous. Let the contractor buy everything. We tried that and then realized that he couldn't run a business. He don't know how to run the business. He's a contractor. He does the work. So then
you tell him what to do.
Stuff. You don't know what he's doing.
You give him a sheet of materials. You say, this is first choice, second choice, third choice. You
so
make it dummy proof.
Well, exactly. But we pivoted into that model, and then it still went south.
Let Chris go.
This is what I think we're going to do. I love this conversation. I really love it. Because we're going to see each other again soon. I'm sure of it. All right. We're going to have to knock this out over a drink. All right. We're going to have to draw a line in the sand. We're going to have this debate. We might even need to videotape it. All right. Might have to videotape. I think it'd be a great conversation from the industry. Yeah. Because I know what I think. I want to hear Don. I want to hear Don out. All right.
Yeah,
so might have a conversation. All right. I got these grays now, Don. You know, I know, and I'm trying not to have all of them. You know what I mean?
Right.
Hey, here's the thing, Chris, right? I don't know if you've watched us before, but we very rarely agree on anything every week. So it's awesome. Yeah, it's good.
Here's the one thing I'll say. It's about building the business that's right for you. I'm not over here saying that somebody should rehab at a high volume. I'm just saying it can be done if you look at it the right way. And that's the same thing with wholesaling and buy and holds. Like I'm not a buy and hold guy. To me, it's that's just no. Okay, I'll do Airbnbs and some other stuff. I'll do a few buy and holds, but I don't want 100 a year. So you got to build the business. You have to build the business that's right for you, right? And so that's the whole point is build what's right for you.
I love it. No, I agree. So, Chris, let's jump in, man. We're about halfway through. We want to respect your time today. We're getting a ton of interaction from the audience over here. So this is actually really, really, this is awesome, guys. This is really, really cool. I know we're providing some value here. So let's talk about, what the process looks if somebody wants to come and join your program. And by the way, how would somebody connect with you if they're not already in it?
Yeah, you can go to my Instagram, all right, at the Chris Jefferson. Click the link in the bio. It'll take you to a page. Or you can go to startflippingdeals.com. Here's what the benefit is of my group. All right.
And it's
startflippingdeals.com. Yep.
Startflippingdeals.com. Love it.
It's a nice domain. All right. So look, so here's the deal. All right. It's a membership group, but it's really a roadmap to success in all honesty. All right. So when somebody joins my program, there's a course that you get, and there's like 100 some hours of videos just in the course. All right. I'm not one of these people that thinks a course should consist of videos that are 3 to 5 minutes per module or something like that. So a lot of my videos are 2-3 hours a module. The reason that they are like that is because in order for somebody to really retain the information, to really understand what it is that you're teaching, that takes time. All right. It just takes time. And so if you join my program, you got to have a self-commitment that you're going to take the time to learn the information. All right. We've got 12 regional coaches. I see some of them in here as well. Shout out to all the regional coaches. So if once you join, all right, you get placed in whatever your region is across the country, whether it's Midwest, Southwest, Southeast, Northeast, whatever it might be. Then you get placed in your region. You've got student coaches in that region. I do a call once a week. My student coaches do 2 calls a week with their groups, as well as 1 large call with the entire group on Fridays. We've got a women's group, which I think is super dope. I think we need more women presence in the industry. So shout out to all the women in the business as well. So we have a women's group inside of the group. We just do a lot of cool things, man. And again, I think the biggest backbone of it is we've created a JV network. I've got not just my students doing
that is huge. Student coaches in regions, amazing. Yeah. Love that. And then the JV network, dude, this is great. I remember
Yeah,
when we were
the
sitting at dinner back in April, and I was like, yeah, I own letscowholesale.com. And you're like, yeah, that's cool. I own co-wholesale.com. I'm like, no, this is my dude.
Yeah, man. Yeah, no, I love it, man. I think joint venturing more people should do. I'll put it that way.
Absolutely, man.
Because here's the deal, man. If you're just starting out, like I think back about myself, I used to work 3 to midnight when I got into this business. All right, it was a drag.
Job?
Yeah, no, when I had a job, I used to work 3 to midnight. No. I'm saying for my full-time job, I worked 3 to midnight. So I had to work on real estate during the day. But most people don't have that actual benefit. Most people work during the day. All right. So if you're getting off work at 5 o'clock, if we're all just going to be really honest with ourselves, you got 2 to 3 good hours of work when it comes to the real estate business at that point. You still got to deal with your family. You know, you got whatever else you got going on. You've got 2 to 3 good hours of work. All right. So in order to really get some headway and get some things done, I think it makes a lot of sense to go out and generate leads or generate contracts and get that to somebody to take care of the disposition. Most people do not understand acquisitions and dispositions are 2 completely different businesses, 2 completely different standalone types of businesses. All right. And so if my opinion and what I teach people when they come to my group is if you only have 2 to 3 hours a day to work on this business, that's fine. All right. Focus on it's cool. Focus on getting leads and getting contracts. Get those over to somebody that can do dispo for you. They can generate some profit, all right, and some revenue. Get that revenue back, increase your marketing, buy back some of your time, all right, and then build your business from there. And I think that is the backbone of why so many of my students have had so much success.
Dude, I cannot agree more. Whenever we have students that come in, I say, listen, some of them will say, oh yeah, I'm going to do like 6 or 8 hours on Saturday. And I'm like, you know what? I would recommend against that. And they say, why? Okay. Well, let's say you do it once, right? You do it this Saturday. Next Saturday, you got a wedding. And the following Saturday, you got an opportunity to like go do something cool. And then maybe you're sick the next Saturday. You're hungover from going out the night before, whatever it may be. 3 weeks went by. Don't do that. Don't do 6 or 8 hours necessarily. Do 30 minutes, do an hour, do 2 hours, but do it every single day. Consistency is everything in this business. Consistency is everything in this business. Consistency is everything in this business.
The other thing is as well, though, on Saturday is, you know, when people want to do that model, is that the reality is the seller's going to answer on that day, right? What if they don't? You can't wait another week. We know that we're pounding the phone for the same people sometimes to get them on. It might take us 3 days. And the other thing is as well, Chris, I 100% agree with you. When people have realistically these 2 to 3 hours with family time, it's what are you doing in that time is the key. You have to be doing a money generating activity, right? You have to be on the phone. You've got to be making offers in that time. And a lot of people that are new, that go into programs, that go into coaching, they hide behind the things that don't make any money to feel like they're doing something, i.e. what is that? They're in the CRM, they're setting up the websites, they're building their logos, they're doing all this stuff that ain't going to get them a result, and then they never actually get out the gate to even give themselves a chance to succeed, right? We've got to, and what we do in our program is trying to get leads coming in immediately to get them that quality of time that they have of 1 hour a day, whatever, to be spent giving them a chance to actually get a contract.
Yeah, I agree with that. Right.
That's exactly right. I love it, man. So you got a ton of content for them to dive into. I love that it's not short form. It's long form. And here's the thing, guys, all the information's out there. It's all out there, right? But by doing the long form, it allows you to be a fly on the wall to like watch Chris do this business, not just teach you how to do it, watch him do it. That is a big difference, you know, between somebody that's just going to say, oh yeah, here's a contract and here's what you're going to do. Like you can watch him do this business.
Right. I mean, look, if you want here's my thought process. All right. If you truly want to teach people, you know, I'm the type of general, man. I'm riding the war with the horse, man. I'm on the horse with my squad. Right. My students, you know, they've got my energy, man, because at the end of the day, you know, if you want to teach a man to fish, you got to go fish with him. All right. You can't. I could tell you how to do this. I could tell you how to do that. But I got to go do it with you. All right. If I go out here and I'm doing it alongside you, you're going to retain it. You're going to learn it a lot better. A lot of our videos too are based around discussions, because I think, when I started, man, I started by reading Bigger Pockets every single day. Mm-hmm. And one of the benefits and one of the ways I became so knowledgeable fast in the business is because I used to read all the forums, even if it didn't apply to what I had going on at that particular moment in time. And so what would happen is then as these situations started to hit me, all right, as these problems started to occur, or whatever the case might be, I then already knew from looking at the information and seeing it in Bigger Pockets, even though it didn't apply to me at that time. So now when it came up and I've got multiple errors and I'm trying to figure out, well, all right, well, hold on, what do I do? There's multiple errors here. How does this work? Well, I read about that before, right? Now I've got a point of reference. Now I've got somewhere to start. A lot of people, I call it copy and paste. My students, they're probably tired of hearing me talk about this, but this industry, especially from education.
Dude, it's all copy and paste. I'm not a pioneer of this.
Right. Yeah. It's copy and paste, right? And so at the end of the day, what we're trying to do is we're trying to refine the steps. All right. We're trying to refine the steps. My program is a GPS, right? I'm not trying to give you a roadmap and say, hey, go figure it out. Figure out how to get from Virginia to LA. I'm telling you the exact turns you need to make. If you get off track, I'm telling you exactly how to get back on track. I'm telling you where the gas station's at, where Walmart's at, every resource you need along the way. Let's get to the destination, right? It's important to me and I'm passionate about it because I started out with nothing, literally nothing. And everybody has this weird concept in their mind for whatever reason that people like me or you guys or whoever else is special. And quite frankly, none of us are. All right. No. None of us are. We only just did what Dave just said. We just remained consistent. Consistent through success.
I want to mention something real quick. Matt's on every show. He's the most loyal fan we got. I love this guy. He said, wouldn't that be information overload? And here's the thing. I'm going to let Chris answer this, but here's my point on this, guys. When people come into my program, they know everything, right? I'll teach them a couple things. What I'm really good at, and I know what Chris is really good at, is getting them to take action, right?
Right.
Reinforcement of information is good. And if you don't know it, you're going to learn. People learn stuff, of course, in mine. They learn stuff in Chris's and Gavin's and Don's, by all means. But I'm telling you, the overwhelming majority, guys, the overwhelming majority, can't say that word this morning, 80% of them, they know what they need to do. They're not doing the steps, right? So by being a fly on the wall and getting to watch somebody do it is going to help build confidence, Matt. It's a great question. It can be information overload. I get it, right? Chris, what's your take on that?
Yeah, look, so I get where somebody could have the perspective that it's information overload. I just disagree. All right. And so here's why I disagree. It's only information overload if you go into something not knowing what you're trying to do. All right. That's the only time that it's information overload. When you buy things or you go places or you want to do, it's like when I go to a city, I travel a lot. If I'm going to a city, if I'm going to New Orleans and I go to New Orleans, I know it's a great city. I know it's beautiful. It's all this historical stuff. There's all this food, swamp tours, all this stuff, casino, yada, yada, yada. Well, if I go there with no plan of action, if I don't know how I'm going to go there and being intentional about doing what I want to do in New Orleans, well, then I'm probably going to get stuck and be overloaded when I get there of, shit, I don't know if I should do this today.
Yeah, have an agenda, have a plan, guys. Have a plan. Right.
That's all I'm saying. If you're joining my program,
start flipping houses, here's the 3 steps. Start marketing, start making offers, follow up. It's that simple. Right. So a lot of people, they know what they need to do. Matt, Matt's probably watched every one of these, and I'm not obviously saying anything negative. I love this guy. I'm appreciative of him coming, but it's about taking action, right? And that's really what it comes down to.
No doubt about it, man.
Absolutely. Slow feet don't eat.
The other thing is on that though is I think overwhelm, right? It's not it's information overload, but it's actually overwhelming. And I believe that overwhelm is a choice, right? People choose to get overwhelmed because they take too much information on. To your point, meaning that, let's say, and again, I've not seen your course, but if you go through the whole thing, you just keep going through it, then it might be, depending on how it's laid out, right? Or you're watching us all on YouTube or all our content, you're listening to 50 podcasts, you're taking on 100 books, right? You're getting overwhelmed because of the information. Should I now go, hold on, through our conversation today, should I be a virtual wholesaler like me? Should I go and do the bird method? Right. You know, should I be a developer like Chris, or should I go and be a fix and flipper like Don, right? And now you've taken, or everyone listening has taken this information on, and now it's overwhelming if you choose to try and do everything at once. And I think that's the choice is focus, right? You have to stay focused. Overwhelm is a choice by gathering too much information of different things and then saying, well, now what? And then they go, and that what leads to me allows us not to take massive action because again, as you just said, Chris, we don't have a plan. We arrive and we don't know what to do because 100%. We're overwhelmed and we can't take massive action. So it's one step further to dig deeper into kind of the mindset behind why we can't take this action. And once we have a clear path, the execution is much easier.
Let me just add, I got 5 minutes. I got to jump off here. It's a perfect example of finding the coach that you identify with and align with, right? How you identify, how you digest information, and who's going to, you know, like if you're late, the coach is laid back or the coach is going to be on you, and just find who you resonate with, because that's really going to propel you further. I'll take the same 2 hours with information that Chris does, and I'll break it down into 10 or 15 minute videos, and I'll still provide the same 2 hour information, but it's how I digest information. I can't sit through a 2 hour video. It's not how I'm built. So that's how I present the information, and people are going to align with how I provide information if they align with me. They're going to align with Chris and how he provides information if they align with him. They're going to align with Dave. And really, I think that's really important, is to find somebody you identify with, you align with, their style fits your style. And that's going to help propel you, because everything these gentlemen said is right. You got to have a plan. You got to have a purpose. You got to take action. You got to take the steps and implement as you go along. You can't just consume information. Everything they said is 100% right. I just want to add, find somebody that you really feel like you align with, core values wise, how they operate, maybe their business model, how you learn. And that's the next thing that's going to help really make you successful. And the last thing I'll say is stop being a coaching program junkie, because that's not going to get you anywhere.
That's what Gavin was saying. That's what Gavin was saying. You don't need to go try to consume it from 7 places, guys. Find a good, reliable source. This guy right here's got a good one, of course. And just dive in. Consume yourself, guys. I would rather you go read 1 book 5 times than 5 books.
Right.
Think about that. Seriously. Yeah. Like, quit buying extra courses and books and stuff. Just get one that works, and yours is proven. Everybody's on this calls are proven. We all do different things too, right? I like Bird. Don does the flipping. Gavin's virtual plus some other, local rehabbing and whatnot. And Chris is doing all types of awesome stuff too, right? We have different niches. I don't try to go build 36 houses because it's going to take away from what this is going to do. So focus. Everybody can pick a good niche and have massive amount of success with it if they have that consistency that we talked about earlier. Don't try to do 5 or 8 things, guys. Pick 1 or 2 all day. Love that.
Yeah, absolutely. Rule number 1 is show up. Show up every single day. That's
it.
Yeah, and I like what Don said. I'm the first to say this. I'm not everybody's coach. Mm-hmm. And I'm also not trying to be everybody's coach either. Mm-hmm. Right? So back to what I said a little bit earlier in this conversation. I'm just trying to be for somebody else what I needed somebody to be for me when I started. 100%. Right? So to Don's point, and I really liked what he said, because it just comes down to how do we take in information, right? How do our brains process information as individuals? In this industry, from an education perspective as a consumer, and I don't mind saying this, people have gotten way too blind and caught up in, I need this course, I need that course, I need this, I need that. The truth of the matter is you don't. All right. You need a course. All right. You don't need every course. You need a course. All right. Find out, like they said, find out who resonates with you. Find out who makes sense to you. Whose teaching style is effective for you. Who can actually help you retain the information in whatever capacity that you can retain it. All right. And then also, most importantly, to what Gavin said, mindset. This whole business, everything is based on mindset.
Most important real estate is the area between your ears, guys. That's the most important real estate there is. Seriously.
Yeah, you're gonna fail. I fail all the time. I'm not perfect. I mess stuff up. I've done good deals. I've done great deals. I've done bad deals. I've done okay deals. Doesn't matter, right? I'm pushing forward no matter what's going on every single day. And that's what you got to do.
The thing is that our clients, you know, if we're honest, you know, with them, and I think we all are, that's why we're here, is they learn from the mistakes, right? Like I'm telling you, I'm being honest about the flips, right? The things that I didn't even vision. It's a small detail that I overlooked because I thought I could dominate the flipping game. I generally self-believe thought, of course we've got this. It's not a big deal. The flippers just don't buy low enough. We buy low enough, but it's all these little things that you need to do that just like, wow, I just didn't count for this, you know, and now I've lived it. I can teach it. If you're going to do this, these are my experiences, you know, to install into somebody else. So really good. And it's a red flag as well for me. Like if a client comes to me, okay, and they've worked with Chris and Dave and Don and they've not done the deal and they come to me and all it is, oh, it's the program, it's the coach. It's not, it's you. And we have to have them honest conversations. It's
That's
you.
Right. That's right.
It's not,
Hey, guys, I know Don's got to head out. Don, we get it. Guys, beinthisroom.com is one of the best masterminds to take your business to the next level, right? This is not a 0 to 1 model. This is a 1 to 99,000 model. So guys, check it out, beinthisroom.com. Don, I know you got to run, bro. Thanks for coming on.
I want to say one more thing. I love this group because we obviously sit and think about our domains. For sure. Even digital real estate matters, right? So
it does. Hey, Don, man, it was great seeing you, man.
Great seeing you guys. Thank you. Bye.
All right. Thanks.
Later, brother.
Bye-bye.
I love it, man. Chris, again, thank you so much for coming on today, bro. I'm incredibly grateful for your time, man. I know time is our most limited resource at this point. You know, making money is great and all, but without time, dude, all the money in the world is irrelevant, right? So I'm extremely blessed to get to share this hour with you, brother. I really appreciate you.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely.
Awesome. Gavin, I know you got some questions. Guys, if you're listening, we got to respect Chris's time. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. We appreciate you. Helps us reach a wider audience. We got about 15 more minutes before we end. And again, I want to respect everybody's time here today. Gavin, I know you got some questions, and anybody watching,
I do.
If you have questions for Chris, drop them in the chat.
Yeah, so Chris, let's jump back in. So we talked about your team, right? You were building before. You had 200 grand, you know, a month in kind of overhead and things like that. You dialed that back down. You know, makes complete sense to me, and why you did that. Now, obviously, you're acquiring these deals. Obviously, we talked about marketing is the lifelong of our business, right? The leads that are coming in is allowing you to wholesale, flip, pick, handpick, do what you want on the exit strategies, buy and holds, etc. So let's dive into the marketing piece of that. Like, what are you doing? What's working for you right now? What are you focusing on to acquire these discounted properties?
Yeah, man. Look, so I call it three-headed monster.
Careful. This is the most important question that you can ask.
I love this guy. Now, look,
Let's go, Chris. You go.
It's three-headed monster, all right? Cold calling, which is foundational. All right, so cold calling, text messaging, and RVMs. All right? Those are my three favorite. Now, there's a lot of great ones out there. Direct mail still works, yes. PPC is phenomenal. Ads, but those cost a lot of money. All right. What I teach people how to do is get into the business at a low barrier of entry. Not everybody's got a bunch of money sitting around or a fancy W-2. So I teach how people how to get in and be extremely effective fast. So I teach how to do simultaneously in 3 marketing sources at a time. Again, cold calling, text messaging, and RVMs 100%.
Are you RVMing on the follow-up only or cold?
No, cold and follow-up.
Ooh, you got bigger gonads than me. Do on the follow-up, but not on the front bound. It doesn't matter, though. Hey, what are some of the biggest things leading to students to success other than mindset? Action.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Action, man.
Action. Gavin, what you got? What you got on this one, bro?
You gotta take action, man. You know, a lot of.
Oh, sorry, my wife was coming in and knocking on the door.
You don't have time for that right now.
I know, yeah. Well,
oh, Crystal, tell her I said hi.
yeah, no worries. Anyway, carry on, Chris.
Guys, it's action. You want to know the key to success? And I have success in 11 businesses right now. It's 3 simple words. You put me in front of any business with enough time, I'm going to make it successful. Here's why. I'm not special, and I ain't that smart, and I'm pretty lazy too. It's 3 words, guys. Consistent, persistent, action. There is no, here's the thing. There is no plan B. Burn the boat. Think about that for a second. I'm going to pack all my stuff up and I'm going to cross this river or lake or ocean and I'm going to burn the boat. There's no plan B. Consistent, persistent action wins every single time. Period. Love that.
Yeah.
Well, that's a great question.
Absolutely. And you're exactly right. I just think sometimes though, and I've already spoke on this, is that it is about taking massive action, but we have to look beyond that to what's going to allow you to take that action. That's the core thing we have to get to allow you to do it, because it is the answer. The answer is to take massive action. We understand that. But if we have someone that's scared to death to get on the phone, then we've got things to overcome to allow you to do that. So I think sometimes we have to go a little bit deeper, which then comes back to the mindset, to work on the mindset to allow us to take action.
That's exactly right, man.
100%.
That is exactly right. So, Chris, we got about 10 minutes, guys. If you have questions for Chris, drop them in the chat, Facebook, YouTube, and we're going to get those up on the screen. We'll ask Chris, but we do have to respect his time. So we got 10 minutes. If you got questions, ask them now. I got a couple questions. So, Chris, I've been wholesaling. I'm going to use this opportunity to get a little coaching out of you, if that's all right with you.
No doubt.
I've been wholesaling 7 years. I already bought 165 houses this year. Do the Burr method, do some fix and flip. I would say, I'm dangerous, right? I know what I'm doing. My wholesale business has really just been a great place to cherry pick leads. So all the $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 wholesale deals, we don't typically wholesale. We cherry pick them because whenever you're adding wealth, you don't pay tax on that. Whenever you add income, you pay tax on that. So my goal is to make as little money as possible every month, but build as much wealth as I possibly can. All right. So my question is, I'm launching a nationwide wholesaling campaign. I'm going to be putting probably 10 grand a month into the AdWords out the gate, like literally Tuesday of next week. I'm getting ready to bring on 1, if not 2 acquisition people. I'm going to be using certain softwares like Investor Lift to help me with the dispo and
there you go.
Website. Dude, that website speed is like ridiculously crazy, right?
I know.
So someone like me, you could probably coach me on what to do in 3 minutes, bro. So like, I'm not new, right? So what do I need to do other than what I had just mentioned to like hit the ground running?
So let me ask you a question real quick on that. Are you targeting specific markets, or are you doing wide open PPC leads?
Wide open PPC, baby. All over. All
Why
right.
Well, is that,
like, minus 7 or 8 states, something like that.
Is that to keep the cost down? Why are you doing that?
Absolutely. Yeah. And these rural places, I can get these things locked up with, agreements like novation agreements and stuff like that to be able to list them. But on top of that, we are all about transparency, right? So we come in and we're not the 7-day cash offer closer type people. It's like, hey, we're here to help you, but we need to bring partners in. And in the rural areas, I'm going to ask for 90 days, 180 days in some cases. So like any lead is somebody that's needing help, guys. Even if I have to get on the phone with them and tell them to go hire an agent and build their confidence, I'm going to help them, right? And the more value you put in the marketplace, the more money you're going to make in return. So just help people. Don't focus on profiting. That's the last thing I'm looking for. That's going to come. You guys know that.
Yeah, man. Here's what I tell you, all right? And I'll text this to you, but there's a site that you can use that's a nationwide home inspection company. All right,
dude, that's a massive nugget. Massive.
All right, so $200 to $300, around $300. You got a house anywhere now. It's not, every single state. All right. So like some of these rural markets might be a little more difficult, obviously. All right. But $300, you can get somebody out to take your pictures, do a full home inspection report for you as well on the property. All right. And what that can do for you when you're
inspection report versus just the pictures. Love that.
Exactly. Right. And so you're working in these virtual markets. What you can then do, all right, is take that report and you can use that information when you're going to sell your deal. All right. And so it's going to give you a better opportunity to get that deal sold at a higher price because you're just going to have more stronger information, especially not being somebody specifically in that market. So I'll text that resource to you in a little bit, but it's definitely one that you can use. 110%.
Absolutely. And we were thinking, David Old's easy to help with Nationwide TC transaction coordination. And then
I will say on that. That is a headache. All right. So I've had the conversation with David as well.
Closing coordination is?
Dave, hold on. I think there's a delay.
That's
Go
okay.
on, Chris.
You're good. Go ahead. You're good, guys.
Good. So yeah, I think having a 1-point person for transaction coordinating is really critical on that model. I've had some conversations with David as well. So you're definitely on the right track with that. We're likely going to be.
I'm thinking about having my own person, but then also having somebody else help once volume gets up.
We're in the same spot.
I'm going to utilize both of these things, of course. I'm not afraid to jump, bro. Let's go.
Yeah, we're in the same spot. Yep. No
All
doubt.
day. Awesome. Okay. Because you know what? It's like sometimes I get a little frustrated because I'm like, man, I'm teaching people how to, go make crazy money in wholesaling. And my wholesale business does well, but it's not like printing cash like $100K a month because I'm cherry picking all of it.
Why are you not wholesaling?
I'm only wholesaling, or I'm only marketing in my one market though, 30, 40 miles right now. So that's the change that I'm making is we're going to keep doing that, but we're also going to open up the floodgates because I don't want to try to go own a single family rental in Toledo, bro. I live in St. Louis. I don't even know what state that's in. But if there's a good deal, bro, I'm going to be able to get it done. And you obviously get it done. Gavin gets it done.
No doubt.
Helping people.
Yeah, you got to make those adjustments. I'm going to send you some resources that you can use, bro, and it will help you out a ton.
I love it. All right, guys, we got 3 minutes. If you got questions for Chris, drop them in the chat. Chris, so happy to have you. Man, you are a wealth of knowledge. You are changing lives left and right, helping people build confidence, educating them, and holding hands to get them over that finish line, bro. Like, awesome. It's very, very cool, man. Very, very cool. Gavin, what you got, man? I know you got something on your mind.
I always have, bud. I always have. Well, no, I was just going to say, Chris, we appreciate it. I think this is good, and we should do definitely a part 2 because I think we were digging in, to the different models, and that's kind of what's unique about us 3 being on the show anyway, is because we have different views, right? And that's okay. I don't think there's a right or wrong. And it's good to see what everyone's doing so people can see, the difference. I'm with you on the flip side. Don has the systems, that he works to be able to do it. Dave does the burr. I don't want a load of burrs. So it's unique and I think where I'm going with this is that people watching, again, it's about staying in your lane and growing, right? We talked about, being successful in your one area, and then you can venture off into these different things. I'm sure if you go back to the day when you started, I'm sure you probably started with wholesaling, right? I'm sure you did that consistently before you started going to development, because people, I think, are too quick to get to the end, right? They want to go, I want to develop. Well, let's wholesale a deal first, right? Or let's do a creative finance deal, or let's do one burr before we try and do a development or 20 unit of a multifamily.
Yeah, bite-sized pieces always, guys. Yeah, absolutely.
Let me say something on that real quick.
Yeah, please.
Gavin, to your point just now, man, yeah, I would love to see people stop doing this in this business where they're rushing to try to get into something else. All right. Guys, please get good at things. Like get really good at wholesaling. If you can create direct to seller leads in your business for the rest of your life, no matter what type of real estate you're doing, you're good. All right. Right now, Wall Street is buying America. I don't know if y'all realize this or not.
Yeah,
Wall Street is
buying America. Realize this.
All right. And I've been talking to my students about this, and this is really important to understand. They're buying America. What that means, and they're buying up to 400,000 in most markets. What that means is they'll wipe out the middle class. But also they're going to wipe, that's a different podcast, but they're going to wipe out for sure fix and flippers and the rental buyers, the guys that don't know how to go get their own deal. People who don't know how to go talk to sellers themselves and get contracts. In the next couple of years, are going to have a really, really hard time in this business. All right. I highly encourage anybody to get good at knowing how to get a contract from somebody directly. All right. Now, from there, you don't have to rush in a fix and flipper. You don't have to rush into doing rental property.
No,
all right.
Don't rush at it, guys.
Yeah, get good at that, and then figure out what the next spot is, and make sure it's in alignment with what your actual core goals are. A lot of people think, oh, I've been wholesaling, so the next thing I should do is do rentals. The next thing I should do is fix and flip. You need to have a roadmap of what you want your life to look like, what you want your business to look like. You need to figure that part out first, and then build 100%. Into that. All right, build to that. There's no, I don't do a ton of BRRRR. I do owner financing notes. But I know that BRRRR is great. Owner financing notes just fits my strategy better.
Hey,
right?
It's just as good. It's just as good.
It's right. BRRRR works very, very well. I know a ton of people who do BRRRR. I've done BRRRR myself.
Owner financing notes might even be easier. You don't have to have credit.
It's exactly. Way easier. Yeah. And so that's the thing, man. Find the things that work for you. All right. And then find the experts in those spaces, get the information and implement it and make it happen.
Yeah, that's awesome, and you're exactly right. You create your own vision, and that's what it's about. It's fitting to what works for you. When I got into this business, Chris, as a golf professional from England, I literally came across a coffee shop by mistake, which led me into real estate. I mean, I was not one that wanted to get into real estate. I knew nothing about it, and it's just because the door opened and I could create. The only reason I got into real estate was because I was told that I could operate this business from a phone and a laptop and anywhere in the world, because it was important to me to be able to get back to the UK. That's the only reason I ended up. Because someone said I could do it, and I went, all right, well, if I can do it, I'll figure it out. But if you're telling me I don't have to see a house, right, and I can do it from anywhere, even from the UK, when I have to go back and visit family, I'm all in. And that's how I started. So keeping that vision and understanding what I was looking for, it wasn't real estate, it was to do it from anywhere. And that's what led me. So I think that's huge, is to get, what do you want? Again, I'm not a BRRRR guy. I don't want 1,000 rentals, right? Dave does, and that's his vision, and that's what he's doing. And absolutely. And that's what's great. It's following your own dream, right? It's living the dream, following your own vision, which is huge.
Guys, go follow Chris. Instagram, IG at the Chris Jefferson. This is my guy. Love this guy. Also, check out startflippingdeals.com. Gavin, close us out, bro.
Go on, Chris. Were you going to say something real quick before I close this out?
Yeah, before you close this out, we're going to do a part 2 on this, man. We're going to make it part 2.
Yeah, I'm ready, We're doing it. We definitely got unfinished business. That's for damn sure. Costa just got off the call a little early because he couldn't handle the heat. Anyway, right, guys. Hey, Chris Jefferson, I appreciate you so much. Thank you so much for joining us. Coffee with Closers every single week, guys. 11 a.m. Central, 12 Eastern. Every single week live. Come and join us. Until next time, we'll see you next week. Peace.
Thank you, Chris. You're the man. Guys, one last thing. You are capable of success, and you are worthy of it too, guys. Let's get it.